Good morning and welcome to Siberian Russia. It's pretty darn hot in this tent here by now. Looks awesome out there. Alright guys, just sitting here and drinking some water, eating some bread. This is the water we have left, which is not that much, but it'll do for today, or part of today anyway. We also have to find out where to put the shelter. It's not really needed to find out where we have to put it right now, but I think I've put it in here somewhere. Seems like a good place. Let's see if there's flat ground there. And then I will let the entrance face a little bit east, southeast, sort of, not straight south. I have a little bit bad experience with that. There we have the food. No bear have touched it. Then we have the camp. But yeah, I think this spot in here should be all right. Because there will be no box around and stuff like that when this camp will be used. So yeah, all this here cut in, I think, less than 5 minutes. So if you're heading out somewhere in the deep wilderness and it's a time of year when there's a lot of vegetation, then you might consider bringing a scythe blade, because the handle here you can easily make in an hour or something at camp. Even with this little handle, I mean, this handle is just a square hole and pull through and sure. I don't know, but you might think that the scythe blade there is heavy or relatively heavy, but I think it weighs the same as this knife, almost. It's super thin. I'm of course totally down on water, so I just added a little splash of water and a little dab of dishwashing liquid, so I can kind of clean this pot out. But I most certainly have to to break a trail up here, and I'm gonna most likely not do that on camera, because it's most likely gonna be relatively boring, and it's most likely gonna take me at least one full day to do so. It's not gonna be awesome, but it's gonna be awesome to have a trail up here, because I mean, I'm totally down on water. This is what we have left. And that's what I've said in earlier videos. 4.5–5 liters of water per 24 hours. That is absolute minimum for one guy. Some of you might remember that I at some point in time earlier made a round birch bark sheath for this little Mora original one with laminated steel. This is an awesome little knife. But I have to say that Mora have become a little bit sloppy with their grinds. There's something going on with quality control, because this was not perfect. It was not as bad as the Garburger I bought, which actually has a bump on it. It's really weird. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyway, today we're gonna make a hopefully nicer birch bark sheath than the previous one. The previous one was not really that awesome. So with me on this little trip here, I brought a piece of birch bark, a nice piece of birch bark I have spent quite some time preparing. So this will hopefully make for a very nice birch bark sheath for this little guy here. It's an awesome little project. We have some homespun twine. Just a sec. It's similar to this twine here, which is also homemade, but they look a little bit different, and that's because this is waxed. with beeswax. I do not have any beeswax with me today, but I have my my bug repellent, which has a high percentage of beeswax and pine tar. So yeah, maybe we will try and treat one of these strands here with some mosquito repellent, see how that goes. But we have a little stick fire going down there, and I will use that to heat up this birch here, so it will curl up on the knife. Let's see how that goes. We should not have too much heat. That is not super awesome. We'll start to heat the birch bark, and it's already starting to curl up nicely. We are getting there. It kind of starts to fit. We don't want too much heat on this guy here, because then the birch bark will bubble up, and that is not awesome, and it's not pretty either. This is just what you want to do when you do not have any water left. So I have the knife in the sheath here, and I'm trying to just to make it curl up the last bit of the way, you can say, to close up. I don't know if you can hear it, but it's sort of like curling up. You can see it's closing there. It is darn hot. I just trimmed off this little piece here. I'm sort of like holding it in place. It shouldn't really be needed, but yeah, it's sitting loosely, but it's just because I have it right where I need it. This is gonna be the belt loop. Let's try and wax the belt loop here. See how it goes. Most likely gonna be a little bit dark, and it's gonna smell like my grandfather's attic. Because this is what my grandfather's attic smells like, for sure. I don't know. It's a smell that is imprinted in me. Every time we went there, we just smell all the cordage and rope and stuff like that, which was most likely impregnated with pine tar or something like this. My grandfather's attic was an awesome place. I'm gonna make a little hole here, and I'm gonna slide in this loop, and it's gonna be held in place by these two small knots and the cordage, of course. But as you can see, it basically stays in place by itself, of course. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna use our Trail Master here, or are we gonna use the Mora itself? Let's see. It's gonna be sitting somewhere down here. That'll be awesome. That's gonna be we just use the Mora, I can see. Just a little square hole there. Let me get both strands in. That was much better. So now we are gonna make a weeping here and a weeping here. We're gonna make one more down here, and I think we're gonna try and do it for fun, just with the grandfather stuff here. So for first time here, I'll just put my finger here and drag it through. So there we have it, birch bark, traditional Siberian birch bark sheath. I think it looks awesome. So being made out of birch bark, it is of course a very tough, very weather resistant sheath. It has really good retention, you can say. Hello. Everything will of course fall straight through the sheath here. Traditionally they are not closed in any way, they are just like this. So one advantage the natives are mentioning is that when you're working with your knife, you can of course just put it mildly in the sheath, you know, not press it too hard down, but then you can turn it one way and it will sort of open up, and then you can turn it the other way and it will clamp the knife down. So it's not going anywhere. So most likely one of the sheaths with better knife retention, you can say. Sort of like nature's Kydex, just takes a little bit longer. So guys, I hope you like this little video here from the woods, and yeah, I hope you will consider supporting the channel and check the links in the description and share and blah, 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 blah. Now I want to go home and get something to drink, because the fire down there almost completely dried me out. So thank you for your time guys, see you in the next one.